What's good, my little committee? Welcome back to another lovely, beautiful, sexy, amazing video with the equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing Lit Tie. You already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now, this Friday was a very, very blessed New Music Friday. Not only did we get Savage Mode 2, but we also got an album from Bryson Tiller, someone who has been quite inactive recently in the music scene. Now, I'm very much in my R&B bag, as you know, I've covered a lot of hip hop on this channel already, but I'm very much in my R&B bag. You know, I mess with the Rihannas, the Jacqueeses, the Ella Mays, the Chris Browns, I'm all in that, the Brent Faiyazes, the Quentin Tarantinos, all of that. I don't know why I said his name, but I mess with it all right. But you know, I just haven't really been keeping up with it. But until now, I'm back on it. So let's go. But yeah, as I was saying, he's been very inactive like of recently. I know some people were saying that it was because he's now in a relationship and he makes a lot of music about his heart being broken, so we can't really, make that type of music anymore. I know some people were asking for his heart to be broken so he can get back in that lane, which is very, very rude. They said that about Juice WRLD as well, RIP, and it's just you can't say that. You can't want your artist to always be upset, even though that is when some artists make the best music. But come on, I think everyone deserves a shot at happiness at least once. But I digress. He dropped an album. It's called Anniversary, which obviously is alluding to it being 5 years since he dropped the classic that is TRAPSOUL, which was one of the best R&B albums to drop that year. And I think it was Grammy nominated, or at least one of the songs on there was Grammy nominated. I think it was Right My Wrongs was Grammy nominated, or Exchange, one of those two. So yeah, that's definitely what kicked off his career, because it had Don't on it, Exchange, Right My Wrongs, all of that. But the last time we actually heard from him was in 2017 when he dropped his album True to Self, which personally I wasn't that big of a fan of. I liked like a couple songs in. Like I liked Run Me Dry. I thought Run Me Dry was a really good song, and there was another song on there that I liked. But overall I wasn't really a big fan of that album. I don't think it had a lot of impact either. So I didn't really know what to expect going into this album. I went in with a very open mind. And I think it was good. Yeah. I mean, is it as good as TRAPSOUL? Definitely not. But I thought it was good. It's very short. It's about 30 minutes, I think, something like that. So not really a lot of content to digest really here. But from what we got, I'd say, yeah, it was a pretty solid effort. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter actually trashing the album and saying, like, is this all he gave us and stuff like that. I don't think it was that bad, but obviously because of what we've seen Bryson be able to do before, it's kind of it is underwhelming, personally. But it's not a bad album. It's just I can see why people would think it's underwhelming. But let's just get into the album and do the track breakdowns, and I'll just take you through track by track of what I thought. And without further ado, let's go. So the first track is called Years Go By, and he's basically coming out quite hard on the first track, No Homo. It's sounding quite good so far from what I was hearing. It was quite a high energy track. Obviously, the name of the track's clearly alluding to how long it's been since he dropped his last project. And I think there was like a voiceover on there talking about, if you keep worrying about what people want, then you're going to turn around and like 5 years is going to go by, which 5 years actually has gone by since he dropped his last big project, so to speak. So again, probably alluding to that. And it was a good first track, so I like that one. The second one was called Always Forever. Another cool little track. It was kind of getting me into my feelings a little bit, which probably a lot of the album was. So I was listening to it at night, which was a very dangerous game. Nearly picked up the phone and called my ex, but I made sure that I listened to Savage Mode 2 first, so I already had that aggression and that DTB kind of vibe on me. So I was able to restrict myself from diving into that. But anyway, track 3 is called track 3 is called I'm Ready for You. And Bryson's on this track. He's proclaiming that he's ready. I'm assuming he's ready for a relationship is what he's talking about. And yeah, this one's a nice little track. The beat on this one was quite dope. He was, again, flexing his vocal capabilities, but really flexing it on this one. And basically back on his, your man doesn't do it for me, do it for you like me type of vibe, like saying he's basically better than the nigga that she's messing with right now. He was kind of inflicting that same sort of persona on Don't and all that. So yeah, just seemed like typical Bryson to me. Next song was called Things Change. I kind of like this one as well. The beat was quite unorthodox, if that's the type of word I would use for it. And yeah, Bryson was spitting a little freestyle on here at the end. He was kind of getting into his, into his kind of rapping kind of bag, which I thought was different, but kind of dope. It seemed dope. So good on him, I guess. Maybe all that time around Drake, maybe Drake gave him a couple bars or whatever. Maybe they had a little sparring match. So who knows? Next song was called Timeless Interlude. This was, again, another sweet little track. Bryson's on here talking about like how much he's learned, how much he's grown over the 5 years, or I think it's 6, maybe it's 6 years, 5 or 6 years that he's been in like the industry spotlight, and how he's grown and developed as a man, looking back from when he was 22 to now him being 27. So a very conscious type of track. The next one was Sorrows. I'm a really big fan of the beat on Sorrows. I really think that beat slaps very hard, extremely hard. And the way his voice is like interpolating with his other voice is really great as well. I love when that's in songs. I know it's in a lot of songs, but it's just one of the things that I really appreciate, especially when especially when you've been behind the scenes of making music. Like you start to appreciate that type of stuff a lot more. So I'm a really big fan of that, especially on this track. And yeah, he's again talking about a female on here, but when is Bryson Tiller not talking about a female? Like I ain't never heard this guy not talking about a female. But anyway, the next song was called Inhale, and this was giving me like a 90s R&B type of vibes. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what he was going for, but that's what it was giving me. And yeah, it seemed cool. Just a cool little track. Not much to say on it, really. The next track was called Out of Time. Obviously, we had the boy Drizzy Drake come in, and he had some lovely R&B type of vibes on it, proclaiming that, lovely toxicity and bad for me vibes that people love in relationships these days. And yeah, when the beat, you know what, yeah, when the beat dropped, I was thinking, wait, so Bryson doesn't get a verse on it? I thought it was just gonna be Drake. And then it came back and he had a verse, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because if Drake comes on your album and just has a song for himself, I thought that is a major disrespect. Even though the song will blow up, but if you don't get a verse, he's playing you, shawty. But he got a verse, and he was competing with Drake. They were basically going toe to toe with that R&B shit, because they both really do that R&B type of vibe. Again, as I said on the Savage Mode 2 review, seems like Drake is again building up his momentum to drop this album with the features as well. So good on him. And yeah, this will probably be the No Guidance type of song of this year. It'll probably be that R&B song that you just can't escape. It's going to be on the charts forever. I mean, it's Drake and it's Bryson. So what can you really expect? Really, they run radio. So and the next song was called Keep Doing What You're Doing. Bryson expresses like the sentiment that his last girl said to him before they broke up, which was to like keep doing what he was doing, and she was basically supporting him, claiming like she knows that he's got it in him to be this big successful artist that he's on his way to being. So he was just reflecting on that and how he felt about that in this song. So, you know, I'm sure some niggas can relate to that. The majority of people probably had their exes saying they weren't going to be nothing, and that motivated them to flex on them or whatever. I don't know how you relationship people work. Let me know in the comments section if that's what happens in relationships. We don't know about that over here because we don't cuff these women.
Oh, you think I'm bluffing when I say no coffee.
And the final track is called Next to You. And Bryson ends the album with another In Your Feelings type of track. He's proclaiming about how he likes being like next to and how much he needs to get next to this woman in question on this track. And yeah, definitely one that I'm adding to my sex playlist. No, I'm joking. But yeah, definitely what I've added to that playlist. It had that kind of grind on me, you know, type of that bump and grind type of vibe, you know, just soft and smooth and loving, and just if you're taking it slow with your partner, you know, you're not trying to do the conga, you're trying to do the cha cha cha, but cha 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 like that, not how people usually say it with the fast. You just like to take things slow sometimes, and that's all right. Way off topic, but yeah, Bryson definitely delivered on this song, so good on him. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole album. So I know some people were speculating, saying that I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying this can't be it. This can't be the whole album. I think he responded to someone saying that it's far from finished or whatever. So maybe this is just like a little cut. Maybe he just couldn't wait and he thought, let me just release these couple songs. Maybe these are throwaway songs. Who knows? I don't think Drake would be on a throwaway song, but who knows? So yeah, overall, if I had to rate the album from out of 10, it's definitely a solid 7. I'd say a solid 6 or 7. Yeah, solid 7. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. It's good quality. It's got good vibes. I saw someone say that it felt like he didn't try, which I can kind of understand, because as I said, from what we've seen from Bryson before and what's been delivered, it hasn't matched up. But I like that album. You know, it's not, I wouldn't, if someone put it on, I'm not turning it off, because it's a good album. It's got good songs, it's got a good vibe, but it's just not at the same caliber that we would usually, it's not at TRAPSOUL caliber. I have to hold artists to the same regard of their former selves. I have to hold Drake to that Nothing With The Same status. I have to hold Kendrick to that To Pimp a Butterfly status. I have to hold Cole to that, what's that album called? Forest Hills Drive status, or Born Sinner. Either one of those. I have to hold them to that status because that's when they're at their best, and you should be continuing to get at your best as you grow as an artist. So if you start to decline in value, I have to always remind you of where you once were and how you need to, you know, get back to that quality. But, you know, if this is just small cuts from a larger album, then cool. So we'll just wait for the larger album then. So I don't want to say that he's decreased in quality or whatever until we get that larger album and we can have a proper digest. But this album is good nonetheless. I don't know why people are slandering it on Twitter, because it is still a good album and I liked it. I've added it to my R&B and my sex playlist. So yeah, Bryson, you've done a good job. I like it, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Please don't go on another 3-year halt because you're in a relationship or whatever. Nah, cut all that out. You need to get back into music now. You're back. The spotlight's on you again. You need to start running up some features, start putting out some videos. Just get back in your artistry lane. I know you have a child and I know you have a relationship and all that, but come on, you need to be in the music scene. Like this is your bread and butter. You need to get back to it, white. And yeah. But let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you liked that album, if you didn't like that album, you know, what was your favorite track? Did you think Bryson took too long to drop this album? Do you think it was better than Trap Soul? Do you think it was better than True to Self? Like, or do you think it was worse? Did you think that, you know, I'm just shit. but yeah, don't forget to leave all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, just, you know, help me grow and progress and become a better man. And I love you guys. I love all the support so far, all the views. We're just going to keep going up. We're going to keep running up the numbers, and we're just going to get to the top. That's the goal. And yeah, thank you for watching, and stay black. And if you're not black, stay whatever race you are. I bet. Peace.
Oh, you ain't know I could sing?